Facing death. That's really hard in recovery, and we're going to touch basis on the reading. Often we have to face some type of crisis during our recovery, life be lifing, such as the death of a loved one, which is huge. Basic text, page 102. Every life has a beginning and an end. However, when someone we love a great deal reaches the end of their life, we may have a very hard time accepting their sudden, final absence. Our grief may be so powerful that we feel it will completely overwhelm us, but it will not. Our sorrow may hurt more than anything we can remember, but it will pass. And when something's going on in my life, I always tell myself, this too shall pass. Because I've been through a lot of shit, and I know I can make it through whatever life throws at me, no matter what. We need not run from our emotions that may arise from the death of a loved one. Death and grieving are parts of the fullness of living life on life's terms. By allowing ourselves to experience these feelings, we partake more deeply of both our recovery and our human nature. My mom passed away in 2014, and I did not accept her death at all. I was a mess at the funeral. I read the eulogy I wrote, and I wanted people to remember my mom for the bubbly person that she was, and not for just the junkie that people thought, all they thought about her. You know what I mean? I really took my mom's death hard. I actually didn't stay clean. I relapsed really, really, really bad, worse off than I ever was, and got in some legal trouble, got kicked out of my grandparents' house because when my mom passed, I decided to move 8 hours away from home because I needed a fresh start. And I had a beautiful fresh start, but I chose drugs over that. Sometimes the reality of another's death makes us think more about our own mortality, that much more. We reevaluate our priorities, appreciating the loved ones still with us all the more. Our life and our life with them will not go on forever. We want to make the most of what's important while it lasts. Yesterday, I got to see my cousin, who I haven't seen since I was 9. I went to my great-grandma's 95th birthday party, and I am the black sheep of the family. I am probably the biggest, if not the only, black sheep of my family. My family doesn't even talk to me. Nobody even talked to me there except for a couple people, but that was okay. You know why? Because I was there for my great-grandma. It was her 95th birthday party, and I wasn't going to miss it. And it took me being the bigger person to be like, it's about my grandma and not about how I don't want to see certain family members. You know what I mean? So I had to be the bigger person there, and it was a beautiful thing. I got to see my cousin, who I hadn't seen since I was like 9. It was so exciting, and my grandma had a blast at her party, and that's all the family wanted. We might find that the death of a loved one, the death of someone we love helps strengthen our conscious contact with our higher power. If we remember that we can always turn to that source of strength. When we are in trouble, then we will be able to focus on that no matter what may be going on around us. We have to stay focused on our higher power because whatever, mine is God, but some people it's the rooms, some people it's whatever they make up. It has to be a power greater and loving, more caring than yourself. You know what I mean? I said that wrong. I know what I meant. But, if we stay focused on, the good things in life and the people that we do have in our life, we will remain grateful. And listen, if you have a problem with gratitude, if you think you have nothing to be grateful for, sit down, listen. If you got toilet paper, be grateful. I remember when COVID happened, nobody could find toilet paper, and it was terrible. I really struggled when my mom passed. I remember being in prison, and I actually had a dream, and it was very, very vivid. And I remember I woke up crying and I actually was crying to my roommate, my cellmate, that it was so nice to finally see her. Even though it was a dream, it was just, I was so excited to finally see my mom because it had been, 12 years. My mom's been gone 12 years now. And I did not go to my mom's funeral until about 11 or 12 years, gravesite, until 11 or 12 years after she had passed, because I just couldn't muster up the courage to go. But I got off of Suboxone, and it was about a year and a half after stopping Suboxone that her birthday in September really bothered me. And it was the first year that it had bothered me since she passed away. And I know that sounds terrible, but Suboxone still is a mind-altering substance, right, to a point. So I didn't feel any of those feelings until that substance was gone. And that's why they tell people in the rooms, feel, deal, and heal. And in 2017, and I've said it plenty of times before on videos, You know, I was told by a lady in the rehab I was at, she was also in recovery, and the people that worked there lived there. And she told me, don't be so busy that you don't sit with your feelings. And it took me, you know, some years to really understand that. But we don't want to be so busy with life that we don't just sit with our own thoughts. Sit with us, you know, in the quiet and think about whatever it is we're thinking about. You know, death is really hard, but after my mom passed, I have a new view on death. You know, it is inevitable, and it's a part of the, you know, it's a part of life. We don't live forever, and that's why we only have one life. And that's why if you are thinking about getting in recovery, do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till it's that last bag. Don't do it. Just do it now. Dump it out. And I encourage you, because I know you can do this. If I can do it, if he can do it, you can do it. All right, babe, you got anything to say on this?
Yeah.
Chair keeps getting in my face. I need to finish making these.
Um,
Oh, you put them away already?
no, we're gonna put full water. Yeah, I think dealing with death and acceptance go hand in hand. Just because some fact, like, okay, there was 10 years that I didn't have any contact with my dad. That was his choice. He's still alive right now, but I don't want to go into a whole bunch of specifics, but the last time I talked to him, he stuck a loaded pistol in my face twice within minutes, then called the cops and tried to have me arrested for it.
Yep.
Been an alcoholic since before I was born. Just a bunch of bad history, but I don't think anybody should want to hold animosity towards somebody just in case something happens. You don't know. They could be here one day and gone the next.
Yep.
And if you end things on bad terms,
you gotta live with that.
You gotta live with that, exactly. So, like, I've personally reached out to him. No response back, but there's part of an acceptance that has to go along with that. I could sit there and dwell on it day after day, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't want anything to do with me,
nothing you can do about it.
I can't do anything about that except for be the best version of myself, and I can only do that through acceptance and realizing, like, that's a hard pill to swallow. Like, hey, my dad threw a loaded pistol in my face. You know what I mean? Like, that's hard pill to swallow. Or, hey, my dad wants nothing to do with me, and he's cool with going a decade without talking to me, and then over a year and a half, almost 2 years without talking to me.
Yeah.
That's hard to swallow, but through acceptance and whatever your higher power is, mine personally is, like you said, God, Jesus Christ. And I prayed on it, and through acceptance comes a form of peace, a form of freedom.
Yeah.
And knowing that, like, you did what you can, and you can't change it because it's out of your hands. You can't make somebody want to have a good relationship with you. So when that person dies, if it ends on bad terms, and you've done what you could to put that into a positive ending, there's acceptance. You got to accept it for what it is. You know what I mean? There's people that go through far worse or crazier things. There's people that get, I'm not going to say the words, but like SA'd by their family. I already know. Again, that's a hard pill to swallow, you know?
Yep.
But as long as you're living your life right, and you're living a righteous life, and you're staying sober, you're staying clean, that's all that can be asked for you. If you're doing the right thing and you're being a good person, the best version of yourself you could possibly be, and somebody still doesn't want to be having contact with you, like in my instance, that's a personal thing. That's what comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Other people, there's probably other instances that come to mind. But point being, when that person passes on, you've already accepted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going to give you a better chance of staying clean and being a good person, because you could be a piece of crap and have that person hold grudges against you and not want to talk to you. That's because you're a piece of crap.
Right.
But if you're not being a piece of crap and you change your life around and you're doing good, you can't be held accountable for that.
Right.
In certain ways.
See, I didn't have the best last phone call with my mom. I knew she was using because she was being very distant. And there for the longest time, I blamed myself. Oh, you know what? We're almost out of time.